And welcome back to the another episode of Daily Quiz for IAS Prelims 2025. It is 7th October today, and in this video we are going to derive the questions from these important articles which are mentioned on this slide. Before we will start our discussion, I would like to introduce this initiative to you guys. Every day in this video we discuss three types of questions. The first set of questions are taken from the current affairs topics. What we do, we take up the most important articles from the newspapers. We break them down into the simplest language possible and derive prelims based questions from those articles so that it will give the idea how the questions could be framed from the news articles or from the current affairs. It will give the brief idea how you should prepare while you are reading your news articles or you are watching any YouTube channel where you do your news analysis. It gives you idea how you should read these newspapers, and it will give the important information which is relevant for your prelims preparation. The another set of questions which we discuss here is taken from the static portion. If you would know that, if you had followed me, that we had started discussing the static topics also here, and we had started with Indian polity. And today we are going to discuss Article 14, where we are going to derive some important concepts from this article and frame prelims based questions on those concepts so that it will give the proper idea about Article 14, as well as it will prepare you very well how the questions could be framed from this article. And after we will discuss that, we will go to the last portion of our discussion, which is discussing previous year questions. We will take up few questions from the previous year question books. We will try to discuss those questions. We will try to find out the ways and methods by which we can solve those questions. And also we will try to find out how we can implement that knowledge in our next exam. So this is all about this initiative. I hope if you are watching till now, please, my request to you guys is please do watch the video till the end. It is going to be very much interesting for you. It may seem boring, but trust me, the information which we had brought in this video would be very much useful for you if you are preparing for IAS or any civil service exam or any exam which is related to these subjects. Now, I would like to request you a few things. The first thing which I want to request you that you should follow is please do note down these questions which we will discuss here. These are going to be very much important for you. Trust me on that. When your exams would be near, you would like to revise the current affairs, but at that time it becomes very hectic to revise the current affairs because you have to go for many different magazines from the last 1 year. You will have to go through many newspapers at that time, and it would be very much time consuming. But if you have these questions with you, you know what you will do. You will just read these questions. It will connect you. It will touch your memory. It will connect you with the current affairs which were in the news, and also it will boost your confidence before entering the exam hall. And also, who knows, as we are discussing these questions or as we are deriving these questions from the newspaper articles, we are deriving these questions from the static portion, we are deriving these questions from the previous year questions. This is the set which is used by UPSC also. Who knows, many questions can coincide when you are going for the exam. So this is the, I think it is worthy to note down these questions to be on the safer side, so that you won't regret if any question would come from these questions, and you won't regret them. So please do note down these questions or at least take the screenshot of these questions. And another thing which I want to mention here, please do subscribe the channel, share it with your friends so that they may also get benefited from this initiative. And please do write in the comments what else should we bring. Please don't hesitate to criticize us. You can criticize as much, but being respectful. Do criticize us. Do give us your suggestions. What else should we bring for you? What else do you want us to bring for you? We are here to help you, and we are here to improve ourselves too. So this should be the two-way process. Please do communicate with us and tell what else should we need, what else should we bring for you. So this is all what I wanted to say here. Now with this, let us have a look at the topics from where we had derived the questions. Let's get the basic idea what was in the news. Let's get the basic gist of the news, and after that we will try to solve those questions. The first article which was in the news is about the PM internship scheme. If you had read the union budget this year, you would have come through. There were many, you know, optimistic approach shown by the government of India. Government of India had tried its best possible way to curb the unemployment in our country, and government of India is trying its best to to upskill the people. So in that context, the PM internship scheme was brought in. In this year's union budget, what it will do, it will roll out the internship scheme. It will roll out internship scheme to the youth, who are the graduates from, who are freshers from the graduates or from any diploma holders. They will get the internship under this scheme, and so that their skills will be uplifted and the employment opportunities would be very much available for them. There is a one issue with our colleges or with our schools. We are well trained in theory, but we lack the practical knowledge, and that is one of the reasons that our graduates are we are graduating but we are not able to find the jobs, because we lack the particular skill which the company needs. So here this scheme comes. Under this scheme, companies would be incentivized by the government that they should hire they should hire these interns under their under their shadow. They should train them, and under this scheme the government is going to pay to every person who is going to to every youth who is going to get this internship. Government is going to pay them at least say 60,000 per annum, which makes 5,000 per month. So what is the eligibility criteria for that? Those persons who are between the age group of 21 to 24 years, they will be eligible for this scheme. And how the contribution would be given under this scheme? For example, they are going to pay 5,000 per month to the internee. Of that, 5,500 would be paid by the company from its CRF funds, and 4,000 CSR fund, sorry, and 4,500 would be paid by the government to those internees. So the approach, what government here tries to tries to get is that the youth which is coming out of their colleges, or they are coming out of their diploma institutes, they should be well trained for there should be skill upliftment. They should be trained for that purpose where they will get the job. They should be trained by the companies. In this, the companies would be incentivized. The government would push the top 500 companies for hiring these interns, but it is not something that companies have to do. It is up to their will whether they will do or not. But when the government is giving them the incentives, they would definitely get it. So with respect to this, we will solve a prelims based question and get more idea about it. I hope that how much we discussed it here is more than enough what was in the newspaper. It gives you the gist what is about it, and by solving the question you will get more idea about it. Then the another topic which was in the news is about the civil war in Sudan. This is also one of the major issue in the African continent. We had often seen civil wars going on there in different states and different countries. And with respect to this, Sudan is also one of the major country there where these civil wars are going on from last many years. And especially we saw in 2011 how South Sudan separated from Sudan because of the civil wars there. About Sudan, we should know how it becomes important for us, because UPSC has asked such questions. Who are the neighboring states of Sudan? We should know that. We should look at the map of the Sudan. That is, we should see which sea it is facing. What are the countries which are very much close to it? What are the countries which are neighbor to it? We should know about that. It becomes important for us. And also we should know the important zones in the Sudan which are most affected. For example, Khartoum is the capital of Sudan. We should know that. And also, as we should know, there in North Darfur, which is a place in Sudan, there is a Zamzam camp. We should know that about that Zamzam camp. It was declared by UN, where UN declared famine in that refugee camp, Zamzam camp of Zamzam camp in North Darfur, which is a place in Sudan. it is declared that by the UN that a famine has occurred there. So we should know these important places with respect to these countries which are in the news because of some tension or because of some achievement. So that UPSC has often asked such questions. And about the Sudan civil war, why it was in the news, there is a civil war going on between the Sudan's armed forces, as they had toppled the government. It was a military coup versus the RSF, which is aligned by the Arab countries, major Arab countries, especially UAE and Saudi Arabia. It is alleged that UAE and Saudi Arabia are in contact with RSF, and also Wagner Group from Russia is in contact with the RSF. So there has been a huge struggle between these two powers, which is RSF and SAF. They are struggling for the power. There is a lust of power that has led to these, these this civil war in the country. And as it is seen that as it has directly seen that many foreign countries are involved in it, as Russian agencies also involved in it, private agencies also involved in it. So US and its allies are trying its best to curb its control. US and its allies are trying best to stop this war in the Sudan, as it does not go in hand with their choices. And also about the Sudan, we should know that it is highly rich in oil and other minerals. So it is very much, it has huge capabilities to produce good to the world. But right now, a country like Sudan, which has rich resources, is involved in civil war, which has led to famine, which has led to death of many people. It is estimated that more than 20,000 have been killed from the last 1 year itself. So this is in a nutshell about the Sudan. With respect to this, we will solve a prelims based question in the next slide and get more idea about that. Then the third article which was in the news is about the Telegram to change its stance. If you had followed the news analysis here, you would definitely know that the CEO of the Telegram, he was arrested by the French government because of his policies towards the free speech. You know, there is a concept of end-to-end encryption. Those social media firms which have end-to-end encryption, they are very hard to deal by the governments, because they don't share the information with the governments. So in this case, the Telegram CEO was arrested by the French because it was alleged that he did not cooperate with them. He did not give them the information which was necessary for the country, as it is alleged that this app or this feature, these almost every social media app is very much controlled by cyber criminals. It is controlled by terrorists or other agencies. So governments try to interfere with these companies so that they will get, governments want that companies should cooperate with them to get their informations. But the concept of end-to-end encryption, it is very much sophisticated protection to the messages which they share. So it is under, it can't be, it is hard to hack that system. So it becomes very much important for the government agencies to connect with the owners itself. So in that regard, the Telegram, as earlier it believed in extreme, Telegram owner, as earlier he believed in extreme freedom of speech, now it is seen that he is about to bring up the new guidelines with respect to its stance, and he is going to make it more government oriented. So this is in this news. With respect to this, we will solve a previous based question and get more idea about it. Then the fourth article which was in the news is about the Muizu to meet Modi. Who is Muizu? He is the president of Maldives. Why it is important for us? Because we had seen from last 1 year there were very to and forth between Maldives and India. First, how this Muhammad Muizu, his campaign was only when he came to the power. He came to the power because of the campaign, out India campaign. So he came to the power. He had shown direct anti-India stance. So with respect to that, also when PM Modi went to the Lakshadweep, and there was a huge retaliation from their ministers, and for that there was a huge buzz in the social media, and Quit Maldives campaign was raised in the social media in India too. But being an aspirant, you should know that these countries may seem very small, they may seem very economically dull, but these are very much important for our strategic importance. The location of this country is very much important for us. We cannot lose such countries. So India has always tried to negotiate on the diplomatic level, not on the civil level what people believe, but on the diplomatic level. India has always tried to show the big brother policy. They had always tried to talk with the Muizu's parliament, Muizu's talk with the Muizu, and solve the issues. And with respect that, now the Muhammad Muizu, he is going to visit India, and he is they have huge economical crisis there, and with respect that, he is going to ask for the assistance from the India, and India is more than willing to assist them under the Saga doctrine which we had followed. So this is in a nutshell about it. With respect to this, we will solve a prelims based question and get more idea about it. After that, there is another concept of digital arrest. What is this? It is a cyber crime issue. Usually the cyber criminals, what they do, they will call anybody and they will tell them, they will make a fake call, they will show up as a policeman on the video call, or a ED chief or a CBI chief, and they will tell you that you had done any money laundering or any such act, or an act of terrorism, or your parcels were caught in on your name which country which had drugs in it. So they will manipulate you and ask for the you have to stay on the video call for the time being, and they will ask you to give the fund so that this case would be over. And in this way they manipulate the poor people. But with respect to this, the ED, CBI, and police had given it categorically that we don't go for the digital arrest. We directly arrest if we have to do so. So please avoid, save yourself from these fraudulence, save yourself from these scams. So this is why it was in the news. After that, there was another news in the article. It is about Iran's Quds force chief out of contact. We had seen recent attacks in Lebanon where Hassan Nasrallah was killed. So after that, it was supposed that Iran's Quds force chief was there, but after that attack, it is seen that he is out of contact with the Iranian with the people, with the Iran's contacts. It is out, he is out of contact, and Iran has agreed to it. And it is said that either he has been killed or he is on hiding. So it is not sure yet what has happened to him. So with respect to this, we should know that what RGC is, Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps. It is a paramilitary force it is Iran's most powerful security force of Iran. So this Quds, Iran's Quds force chief, Iran's Quds force operates under it. So we should know about that. After that, now we will solve questions with respect to these important articles. After solving the questions, we will go to the static portion, discuss that, solve a question on the static portion, and finally we will go to the previous year questions, discuss those, and after that we will conclude. So in this slide, I hope you had got the basic idea what is in the news, and now let's try to solve the questions. Here the first question says, it is on the PM internship scheme brought out in Union Budget 2024-25. It says, which of the following statements are correct with respect to PM internship program scheme brought out in Union Budget 2024-25? First, up to 1 crore youth will secure internship in top 500 companies. Correct. Scheme promises 60k per month to youth. No, it is not 60k per month, it is 60k per annum. So this is incorrect. We discussed that. Third, youth aged between 21 to 30 years are eligible for the scheme. Incorrect. Youth aged between 21 to 24 years are eligible for this scheme. So it is actually a fresher scheme, we can say, in which we uplift their skill upliftment is done. So with respect to this, we had already discussed it. I hope with this you had got the basic idea about it. Now with this, let's move to the another question and try to solve it. Here the question says, consider the following statements regarding the land borders of Sudan. The first statement, Sudan shares its borders with 7 countries. Correct. And who are these 7 countries? We will see in the then we will see the statement here. Second statement, the country to the south of Sudan is South Sudan. 100% correct. Country to south of Sudan is South Sudan, which went away from Sudan in 2011. Third statement, Sudan has a coastline along the Mediterranean Sea. No, it has coastline along Arabian Sea. This is incorrect. So with respect to this question, the correct statements are statement 1 and statement 2 only. Now let us see what are the countries with which Sudan shares its borders. As it is said, Sudan shares its borders with 7 countries, which is Egypt, Libya, Chad, the Central African Republic, South Sudan, Ethiopia, and Eritrea. These are the 7 countries it shares its border with, and we knew that it does not have coastline along the Mediterranean Sea but along the Red Sea. With this, let's move to the other question here. It is about the end-to-end encryption. Let's see what does the question say. It says, which of the following statements regarding the end-to-end encryption are correct? First statement, end-to-end encryption ensures that only the communicating users can read the message. Correct. Nothing wrong with this statement. Second statement, end-to-end encryption protects data in transit but does not secure data at rest. 100% correct. When the data is in transit, it protects it, but when it is in rest, what does it mean, data in rest? That, for example, I had sent a message, it has received, it has been received by the person. After that, it is not protected. You have to go for the screen lock and all that. For example, I text you, it can be seen by any other person and it has reached you. It can be seen by, your mobile phone can be hacked. So when it is in transit, it can't be, when it is in transit, it can't be, it is highly protected, but once it has reached the destination, it has some security issues. So you have to go for the further security, security things which can secure your message. Third statement, end-to-end encryption is commonly used in messaging apps to enhance user privacy. 100% correct. For example, WhatsApp, Telegram, and others like them. So with respect to this question, the correct statement is option D, which is 1, 2, and 3, all the above. Now with this, let's move to the another question. It says, which of the following statements regarding the trade relationship between India and Maldives are correct? Why we had taken this question? Because we saw that how Maldives President Mohammad Muizzu is visiting India, how they are trying to overcome the hurdles which they had created from last 1 to 3 years. Now let's try to solve this question. It says India is one of the largest trading partners of the Maldives. 100% correct. Second option, major export from India to the Maldives include pharmaceuticals and textiles. Correct. Third statement, the Maldives primarily exports fish and seafood products to India. 100% correct. That is what they can export. So with respect to this question, the correct statements are option C, which is 1, 2, and 3, all of the above. With this, let's move to the another question on the next slide. It says it is about the IRGC, which is Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, is a paramilitary force of which of the following countries? As I had mentioned, it is Islamic. Then India is eliminated, Israel is eliminated, so we are left with Indonesia and Iran. Indonesia is also eliminated. This is just to confuse you. Iran is the correct answer, as we had already discussed it. So with respect to this, we had solved the questions with respect to the current affairs. Now let's shift our approach towards the static topic, and let's discuss the static topic and solve the question with that. Here we are with the Article 14. What from last few days we are discussing the fundamental rights. We saw how Article 12 described the states, how it defined the states. Then in Article 13, how does we saw that if any law which is inconsistent with the fundamental laws, whether pre-independent, whether pre-constitutional law or post-constitutional law, that law becomes void. But further we saw that how DPSPs can overcome the fundamental rights. That is a separate issue here. Now here we have discussed the Article 14. What does Article 14 say? It gives the it says about the equality before law. What does it say? The state shall not deny to any person equality before law or equal protection of the law. Now here are these two concepts. It is very much important for us to understand what are these two concepts. If we look at the person's equality before the law, it is very much general. For example, you may be a You may be a person belonging to the rich family, or there would be any Dalit, or there would be any Muslim, or there would be any Hindu, or there would be any woman, or what, whosoever it may be. Everybody is equal before the law, whether you are the PM of the country, whether you are the IS officer. If you do any crime, you will be equally punished how a ordinary person is punished, irrespective of the bias which comes after that. मतलब कि अगर हम देखें on the textbook, in the textbook, what does it say? In the textbook, in the ideal situation, everybody would be treated equally. Whether you are the PM, if you do any criminal act, you would be held for that. Whether you are an ordinary sweeper of any ordinary institute, or you are begging anywhere, you have equal rights. You have equal rights. You will be equally, you are equal before the law. There is nobody would be treated indifferently under this definition. So it is a general term. Everybody is equal, whether you are officers, whether you are ordinary person, you are equal before the law. But here comes the another concept, which is equal protection of the law. This equal protection of the law, it is little bit different. It is little bit different. It says that equal protection of law, it says that equal should be treated like, should be treated like alike. Those who are in similar condition, they should be treated in that way. For example, if if I am a man, I am 28 years old, I do anything, that should be not treated. If there is a, if I do any acts that, and there is a person who is 70 years old and he does any act, we both are not same. So we can't assume that we both would be treated equally, because there would be the difference of thought, difference of understanding. Similarly, women should be treated differently. Women should be treated differently. And the purpose of this equal protection of the law is that, equal protection of the law is needed for the progressive and equitable ends. So to achieve the social justice. For example, there had been communities which had faced from the history, they had faced discrimination. So we cannot, they lack the opportunities, they lack the resources. So if we will treat everybody equal, if we will not give them reservation, so that is not the just society. This equal protection of the law, it gives you the concept of that equity, it gives you the concept of that justice system which should prevail, that let's try to bring everybody on the same line, so that like should be treated alike. That if you are a person of some capabilities and another person is of that capabilities, so you should be treated alike. And equality before law, what does that mean? That everybody is treated alike. If you do anything wrong, the punishment would be same. Equal protection of the law. For example, if any woman does anything wrong, there would be some, something, some leniency towards her. So it is with respect that you have to take the consideration of many things with respect to it. So this is what the Article 14 explains you. It gives us the provisions of reservation. Even though reservation is not directly mentioned, but reservation can be traced from Article 14. So I hope you had got the basic idea about these two basic concepts. Now with this, let's try to solve a prelims based question and get more idea about it, get more clarity about it. Here the question is about the, what does the concept of equal protection of the law under Article 14 of the Indian Constitution imply? Even though a direct question like this is hard to come, it is hard to expect that a direct question like this would come. But trust me, UPSC is very much, is acting very much differently. They may ask you. Now the purpose of bringing this question is to give you the broader idea about this equal protection of the law. Now let us see. It says all individuals are treated equally in similar circumstances without any discrimination. 100% correct. This is what like should be treated like. All individuals who are in the similar circumstances, they should be treated similarly. Second statement, the state can make reasonable classifications for the purpose of legislation. 100% correct. Nothing wrong with the statement. We saw that how if a woman does any criminal act and she is old, we have different legislations for that. We cannot arrest her after 7 p.m. or 6 p.m. something like that, or we have to or before 10 a.m. in the morning. So there are certain classifications of that also. And the third statement, it says equal protection guarantees absolute equality in all circumstances regardless of social or economic status. It is incorrect. Equal protection does not guarantee it, but equality before the law guarantees that. So with respect to this question, the correct statements are statement 1 and statement 2 only. And from the code given below, the correct code would be option A. With this, let's move to the last part of our discussion, which is solving the previous year question. Here, the first question, it says the Montague-Chelmsford report formed the basis of the Indian Councils Act. No. The Government of India Act, 100% correct. It is Government of India Act 1919. It formed the basis of this Government of India Act 1990. So please, dear students, do understand these questions. We had solved such questions many times from the day we had started discuss. We had seen how many times these questions come in the exam. They are repeating the topics. They are just changing the words. If you know the, for example, if you know the Indian Government of India Act 1919, you would definitely solve this question. And we had discussed many questions with respect to the Government of India Act 1919. We had solved many questions with respect to the Montague-Chelmsford report. We had solved many questions, and UPSC has asked many questions with respect to it. Now let's move to the last question of today's discussion. It says, during the Indian freedom struggle, who among the following proposed the Swaraj should be defined as a complete independence free from all foreign control? Who was that person? Was he Mazharul Haq? Was he Maulana Hasrat Mohani? Was he Hakim Ajmal Khan? Was he Abdul Kalam Azad? No, he was definitely Maulana Hasrat Mohani. So he was the first person who said that Swaraj should be defined as a complete independence free from all regional control during the Indian freedom struggle. So with this, I hope you had got the basic idea about these questions. You had got the best idea about these questions, and you had got the gist what was in the news articles today. And by solving these questions, you had got the idea how the questions do come in the exam, how questions can be framed in the exam. So with this, I would like to appreciate you if you had watched till now, if you had watched the full video. And please do write in the comments what else should we bring for you. Do criticize us, but be respectful, and do share it with your friends so that they may also get benefited from this initiative. Thank you for staying with us. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.